Good morning, everybody. SF Live breaking news special. In a few seconds, I'll be joined by Ernest Mast. He's president and CEO of Doré Copper Mining, and we're going to talk about some drill results from the formerly highest grade gold mine in Quebec, or in Canada, actually, the Joe Mann gold mine. But before we get started, please be reminded to follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, hit that subscribe and that like button, hit the alert button. That way you get notified when we go live with another update. It's really important to us to know as well how we're doing. How is Ernie doing? How is Doré Copper doing? What do you think of the drill results? Leave a comment leave a comment in the comment section below. Makes a lot of sense. But yeah, it's Monday. I'm still trying to find my footing. But let's switch over to Ernie. And Ernie, wonderful. Good morning. Happy Monday to you as well. I hope you had a good weekend.
Yes, I did. Good morning, Kai. Good morning to all the listeners. I think it's a beautiful day around Canada today.
Oh, can't complain. And with always early Monday morning press release, I know you've been busy over the weekend drafting and getting it out. Positive drill results from Joe Mann 2020 program. Run us through the highlights.
Yes, we did 8,300 meters at the Joe Mann property, which we have an option on. The property is 1,900 hectares, and as you mentioned, one of the highest grade past producing gold mines in Canada. We were drilling 4 of the areas at the mine.
Okay, and run us through the key highlights. Of course, you start the press release off always with some highlights, and then let's put them in context. And of course, you drilled 3 different zones. All right, how were the holes distributed? So a lot to unpack in there. Run us through that.
Yes. So one of the main highlights is on the west zone. We had an intercept of 10.34 grams per ton over 4 meters, and this is down dip, approximately 100 meters down dip of previous intercepts that were then a little bit below previous mine working. So essentially what we've done is we've extended the ore body down dip. We drilled also some holes in that program on the west zone, which were a little off the plunge zone. So it's helping us delineate the size of that plunge zone. And it's a very interesting target for us for continued drilling on the west zone, having a high-grade intercept, kind of confirming the intercepts which were there historically.
Fantastic. And also far west zone, you actually hit something 900 meters a long strike from the western zone. So does that really extend the project and the size of the mineral footprint?
Yes, it definitely does. The far west zone was never mined, and we were drilling close to surface. On the far west zone, there were historical intercepts there, and some of them were surprisingly very high grade. There's even an intercept of 3.26 meters over 107 grams per ton, and then numerous other intercepts over 10, 20, 30 grams per ton. The issue with the far west zone historically was the fact that it was nuggety in nature, and the operator at the time, in a low gold price environment, wasn't interested in the development of that asset. With the drilling that we did, we confirmed the fact that there is high grade gold there. It tends to be nuggety. We're currently going to reassay some of the core to understand if there's a nugget effect within the core, but this definitely represents, call it another unknown flank at the Joe Mann mine, because we haven't talked about it before, and we got some very high-grade intercepts.
Fantastic. Let's put that in context, grades that you've drilled now to historical grades. How does that reconcile? Where do we stand? How do these results from today compare?
So the grades at the far west zone, we had 3 meters of 10 grams per ton, which reconciles well with historical grades. We had some smaller intercepts of, say, 0.4 meters, but with over 30 grams. And that's typically what the far west zone would deliver. Very high grade, but previously we've seen it over longer intercepts. Because it's shallow, it's an area we can go back and drill. So our immediate plan is to do some modeling and kind of understand the geological context of the area before we return drilling there.
Okay, I understand you won't be returning as quickly because you got now other plans at Corner Bay, obviously. But to wrap it up with Joe Mann, did you release all the holes today? What's left?
Yeah, so we released the holes today. The other item I should talk about is on the main zone. We had an intercept of 1.3 meters over 1.3 meters of 6.3 grams per ton gold and 0.5% copper. That's the extension of the main mining area, and that hole was placed in between 2 historic 1 ounce per ton intercepts and the old mine workings. So being able to connect the old mine workings with the 2 high-grade intercepts that were done in 2008 is very significant. One of the most significant things also is that in all these holes, we're getting that 0.3 to 1% copper. And that's historically what Joe Mann delivered. It delivered over 8 grams per ton gold and 0.3% copper. So it means we're hitting the same structure that was mined historically by getting that relatively low copper grade associated with the gold, which is great news because in the past, Joe Mann ore was treated in our Copper Rand mill, which is located 60 kilometers from Joe Mann. And the gold was recovered in a mix of gravity and flotation. And it looks like we should be able to replicate
Fantastic.
that.
And then coming back to that, you mentioned a lot of historical results, drilling up to 2008 as well. Do you have all that data? Do you can use that in your resource update?
Yes, correct. We have a very extensive database of information on Joe Mann. We're just talking about 3 of the areas today. There's other areas on the property as well, but definitely these 3 areas that we drilled are the most prospective, and we successfully expanded the ore zones or did some critical infill drilling. So very significant and very successful with our program.
Great. Joe Mann results out today, like resource update for Joe Mann and the whole pack, the project package. When do you expect that to be announced?
We're aiming to do a resource update in the second quarter. We would do it at Joe Mann. We'd also do it at Corner Bay, which we're currently drilling. We will come back and do some drilling at Joe Mann as well, so that may push things a little back, but the investors should rest assured that we're meaningfully advancing these properties and looking to implement a hub and spoke where we would have a high-grade copper mine, a high-grade gold mine, and a mine with in between gold and copper, altogether feeding a centralized mill.
Yeah, 2021 is going to be quite exciting because you're also planning a PEA in the second half of the year to sort of showcase that hub and spoke model. So I'm quite looking forward to that as well. Let's briefly talk about the financing that you've recently closed. How much money did you raise, and can you tell us a little more about the investors that came in and like where did the interest come from?
So we invested a little under $6 million Canadian, and these are hard dollars. And that gives us the best flexibility in northern Quebec where we're located, or north of the 48th parallel in Quebec where we're located. We get a 43% tax rebate on exploration work. So even if we when we spend the money on exploration work, we can expect 43% of it back. So it's a very cost-effective way of doing business in Quebec. The investors were a series of individuals connected to the mining industry, generalists, as well as some Quebec funds that had previously invested in the company. So we expanded out our shareholder base a bit, but we also have some very dedicated shareholders continuing to invest in the company.
Fantastic. What can we expect from Doré Copper in the next 3 to 6 months? You mentioned a resource update. What else is in the pipeline news flow wise?
Yeah, we should have some excellent drill results coming through, resource update, and then towards the second half of the year, the PEA. The Chibougamau camp is a very active camp, and a lot of our colleague companies are very active. So I think we should see lots of news out of Chibougamau. We want to be leading the pack, but some of our cohort peer companies will also come out with some interesting results. And in some way, shape, or form, those fit into our story because we have the mill and the hub and spoke scenario.
Phenomenal. Great. Ernie, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure we'll speak very soon with when you come out with first results for Corner Bay, and can't wait to have you back on the program then. In the meantime, good luck, and we're looking forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for the time, and wishing everyone a very good day.
Fantastic. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. This was an SF Live breaking news special with Ernest Mast of Doré Copper. By the way, Ernie and Doré Copper are clients of Soar Financial, so everything we say today, take that with a grain of salt. We own options in the company, so we're obviously biased. And that's it from my end. Have a good day, and we'll be back.